Contributors, the Democratic strategist James Carville and the Republican strategist Alex Castellanos. Guys, thanks very much. And very quickly, Alex, let me start off with you. Who was the big winner in the debate last night and the big loser?
I think Romney won the strength contest. He demonstrated he was the stronger leader last night, and Gingrich almost came in the debate with no strategy at all. So I think Romney, but Santorum, surprisingly, I think gets the gold star for the debate, the best performance.
What did you think, James?
Yeah, you know, Alex on the night of South Carolina said that the way it works is the aggressor is the one who gets rewarded, and I'll just call it Alex rule, and I think it's true. And I don't know what Gingrich seemed like he was not on his game, he wasn't aggressive, and yeah, he paid a price for it, and Romney was more aggressive. Santorum, yeah, he did great, but as I said after South Carolina, he's like a chicken with his head chopped off. He's dead. Everybody knows he's dead, but he's still running around, but that's all he's going to be able to do.
All right, I want to play, I think everybody agrees that Romney had a good night. Newt Gingrich did not necessarily have such a great night, but Romney himself slipped up when we went through this exchange. Watch this. You've had an ad running saying that Speaker Gingrich called Spanish, quote, the language of the ghetto. What do you mean by that?
I haven't seen the ad, so I'm sorry I don't get to see all the TV ads. I doubt that's my ad, but we'll take a look and find out. There are a bunch of ads out there that are being organized by other people.
We just double-checked. It was one of your ads. It's running here in Florida on the radio, and at the end you say, I'm Mitt Romney, and I approved this ad. So it is here.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask the Speaker a question. Did you say what the ad says or not? I don't know.
It's taken totally out of context.
Oh, okay.
I did not know. I did not say it about Spanish. I said in general, about all languages. We are better for children to learn English in general, period.
All right, so he acknowledges it's a Spanish language radio ad. He says at the end, in Spanish, I'm Mitt Romney and I approved this message, but he says he doesn't remember that. Is that a serious blunder, or is that something that's not so serious?
You know, here's the way it really works in politics. Well, first he said he hadn't seen the radio ad. Well, I guess we don't either. That's kind of why it's called radio. The way it works is consultants, folks like yours truly and James, put together disclaimers. We go to the candidate and record TV disclaimers, the audio, we record them for radio. Then we put together the ads and just reach on the shelf, put the disclaimer on there.
When you say disclaimer,
the candidates, I'm Mitt Romney and I paid for this commercial. Right, the tag. And the candidate often doesn't see all the TV spots, and radio, hardly ever do you run it by the candidate. The candidate's job is being the candidate, not the TV consultant. So it's not surprising that that happened, but I think the lesson here is candidates are going to have to start being a little bit more careful about anything they put their name on and say, I approve this.
If you're going to say, I approve this message, you better know what that message is, James, don't you think?
Well, I disagree with my friend Alex a little bit. Yes, a generic ad, probably not. When you talk about the language of the ghetto, that's some pretty volatile stuff. And if I were the candidate in a situation like that, I would certainly tell somebody, I want to know about negative ads and what we call people because I have to live with the consequences of it. And again, Romney didn't also claim that he didn't know about his Fannie Freddie thing when in a mutual fund. If I was Gingrich, I'd have said, you know, Governor, you have a coordination problem. You can't talk and tell the truth at the same time. I mean, I would have come back at him a little bit. But I agree with Alex in general, but on a negative ad that's this volatile in the Hispanic community, man, if Romney didn't have instructions to his people, I want to know about something like that, that's a pretty big gap. This is not just Mitt Romney is experienced and has the knowledge to be president kind of thing.
All right, hold on for a second, both of you. I'm sure you noticed also that Ron Paul had quite a few amusing moments during our 2-hour debate last night. He broke a lot of the tension up on the stage with the other candidates. Listen to Ron Paul providing some comic relief.
Ron Paul.
You're 76 years old. You would be the oldest president of the United States if you were elected. Are you prepared to release your medical records so voters out there know what your health is?
Obviously, because it's about one page, if even that long. But I'm willing to challenge any of these gentlemen up here to a 25-mile bike ride any time of the day in the heat of Texas. And you know,
You know, that subject has come up, and sometimes in fun, but sometimes not in fun. But, you know, there are laws against age discrimination, so if you push this too much, you better be careful.
Congressman Paul, Texas, the space program, very important there as well. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I don't think we should go to the moon. I think we maybe should send some politicians up there at times.
Congressman Paul, you said the U.S. should talk to everyone. Imagine you're in the Oval Office. You speak to Raul Castro. What would you say to him?
Well, I'd ask him what he called about, you know.
You got to admit, James, he livens up a debate. He's got a good sense of humor there.
He does, and when I watched that debate, while I was watching it, I had this sort of visual thing of Newt Gingrich on a bicycle in Texas in July. That was the visual that went through my head. I don't know what other people were thinking when he said that, but it just struck me as pretty funny. Look, he can be loosey-goosey as he wants to. He's not going to be the nominee. He's 76 years old. He's doing better than he's ever done. He's got a cadre of really dedicated followers. He knows what he's about, and he doesn't have to be tight in these debates, and he showed it last night.
Alex, is it going to really help him, though, in Florida, you think, and beyond, that sort of comic relief, if you will?
You know, it's not going to help him much, but it's a smart thing to do, and it is who he is. He's the most personable candidate on that stage last night. Oscar Wilde, the great old Irish wit and playwright, said once, if you tell people the truth, make them laugh, or they'll kill you. And Ron Paul is trying to tell some big truths that he thinks are true to the Republican Party that the party doesn't want to hear. You've got to cut defense to the bone, you know, legalize drugs. So a little humor can help that, candy coating can help the medicine go down.
You know Florida, you know Republicans, between now and with the caveat lock and change in these final few days, what's going to happen Tuesday?
I think this is a game changer, this debate that you conducted last night, and I think Romney looks like he's pulling ahead a little bit here. Gingrich looks like he's fading. Santorum is now beginning to contend for second. He may not make second place, but I think Santorum is going to come out of here with a ticket to Super Tuesday. This thing goes on.
Wow.